How's it going, everybody? My name is Chase Teep and welcome to my channel. Today, this video topic is going to be 10 things that I don't buy, 10 things that I don't spend money on, and 10 things that I generally try to avoid at all costs as a minimalist. In my list today, there's going to be some items that I've never purchased in my life and don't plan on ever purchasing in my life, but then also a bunch of things that I actually used to spend money on, but I've realized since then that they're not really as valuable as I thought they were, so I've transitioned them into something else and found something that can substitute in for them. Again, I know that a lot of the things on this list aren't going to be things that you can immediately cut out of your life or things that you even want to immediately cut out of your life, but I hope that there's something in here that can kind of show you the ways that I find value in things and just how I'm able to practice being a minimalist every single day. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, the first item on my list is going to be contentious already, but I actually do not spend money on televisions. I don't own a television right now, and I don't plan on having a television in the near future. Honestly, televisions are pretty expensive, and I've just not had one for about 2 years, and I just don't miss it at all. I genuinely don't miss it. I've never had a moment where I'm thinking, man, I wish I had a TV. Anytime that I want to watch something, whether it's some type of show or the news, which a lot of people are probably like me, they don't watch the news very often, but anytime that I want to get some type of entertainment or watch something, I'll just use my phone or I'll use my computer. I mean, it's really that straightforward. I just don't really need a television, and again, I haven't had one for a little bit now, like almost 2 years, and I just don't miss it. Number 2 on my list is going to be something that is once again fairly contentious. In fact, myself a couple of years ago probably would have fought current me for even saying this, but something that I do not spend money on anymore is going to be meat. My daily diet used to consist heavily of meat products, specifically like chicken every single night for dinner, but since then I've really realized, and this is over the course of the last, again, 2 years or so, that it's just not really worth it. It's not as valuable as I thought that it was. Instead, I spend a lot of money on like beans and things that can substitute in for meat almost directly, like a one-to-one replacement. And really, I still enjoy it a lot more. I still look forward to all of my meals the same way that I did when I was eating chicken every night. I still look forward to those meals now that I'm having beans. It's really not an issue, and I don't really miss meat all the time the way that I probably thought that I would have even a couple of years ago. And no, I'm not like a vegan or a vegetarian at all. I do enjoy eating some meat. Every once in a while, every once in a blue moon that I go out, I'll have some meat. Yeah, it's definitely an enjoyable thing that I like to eat, but again, it's not something that I miss. I really have found joy in the meals that I make now. They're meatless and much cheaper to buy. So if you're in the mood to save lots of money and actually try living that lifestyle, try cutting out meat. It's very expensive. There are lots of things you can substitute with. You can really experiment with all those things until you find meals that you really do enjoy and look forward to that are also cheaper. So it's kind of a win-win. And again, I wouldn't have thought that I would do this about 2 years ago, but ever since I haven't had an issue with it, and I've really enjoyed it. Moving on to number 3, and this one's going to be a little crazy for quite a few people that are watching this, I'm sure, but I genuinely don't see the value in buying lots of shoes, specifically single-purpose shoes. I know this is a really common thing. People spend lots of money on shoes. They like to collect shoes almost. They like to have shoes for every outfit, every occasion. I'm not one of those people. I really don't understand the value in doing that. I have 3 pairs of shoes that I own. It has always been basically 2 pairs of sneakers, an old pair and a new pair, and at some point the new pair will become the old pair, and that's the cycle. It'll continue forever. And then I have like flip-flops / sandals that I've had for almost 5 years now, and that's basically it. I don't enjoy thinking about buying other shoes. A lot of people do try and kind of pressure you into buying new shoes. I've never wanted that because really I like having shoes that I can wear anywhere, whether it's on a long hike or out to the beach or with my friends. I want shoes that I can wear all the time, and buying shoes for one event or one purpose just seems crazy to me. And I know this is something that a lot of people aren't going to be able to agree with or get on board with. And again, that's not the goal of this video. I'm just trying to showcase where I find value and which things I do think have some value and which things don't. So shoes are something that I don't spend money on. I don't see myself buying a million pairs of shoes at any point in my future. The 4th item on my list that I don't spend money on is kind of a continuation of number 3, and that is going to be trendy clothing. I was honestly struggling to find a way to title this one because I really don't spend money on clothing at all. But obviously I have bought clothes in the past, and I will have to continue to buy clothes because you need clothes. So I came up with trendy clothing. I basically just don't spend money very often. I don't splurge shop. I almost never go shopping, and if I do, I rarely spend money while shopping. But really, I just buy the clothes that I need. And anybody that really knows me knows this. I have a very small wardrobe. I keep basically the same pairs of clothes, or clothes, for as long as I possibly can. Extract all of the use and value that I can get out of them before throwing them away and buying new clothes. So something like this shirt was only like $8, I think, when I purchased it, and it was just something that I needed new polos, so I got a bunch of cheap polos, and it was absolutely worth it. So that's the way that I view clothing. I try to limit as much as I can on clothing. Going shopping is really tempting. I know a lot of people spend a lot of money while shopping, of course, but it's just something that I don't see the value in. I try not to do it because, again, it is tempting. You will spend money if you do it, and I just try to avoid that as often as I possibly can. All right, for number 5, we're going back into food, and this is basically something that I just don't spend money on ever, and this is going to be snacks. Now, this is kind of a hard category to really define, but basically for me, I just don't buy any food that I won't eat during one of my 3 meals of the day. You can go back and watch my prior videos if you want to hear how I basically plan my meals every single day and eat the same thing for every meal every day. But really, I don't buy anything that can go in between those. I don't buy like goldfish unless I'm planning on eating goldfish with every single lunch for an entire month. And I think if you can get through the entire day without those snacks, without anything between meals, you don't need them. And to me, that means I'm not going to buy them. There's no value there. If I don't need them, I'm not going to spend money on it. And therefore, I'm saving money by not spending on any snacks at all. So that's another tactic. It doesn't save as much money as maybe the next item on the list, but it does save quite a bit, and it's something I would encourage you to look into. Try just not buying snacks at all and just see how you live, how you survive. I think you'll find that you are perfectly fine without them, and because of that, in my opinion, you don't necessarily need them. All right, moving on to number 6, and this one is going to be the craziest one yet. This is the one that people are going to want to fight me about, that people are going to completely disagree with me about, but it's true. I don't spend money on drinks. Any type of drink, no matter what it is, I don't spend money on it. And when I say this, I mean it in full. I actually don't spend money on soda. I can't remember the last time that I've had a soda. It's been a very long time since I've had a soda. I also have never had any alcohol in my entire life, and I don't really plan on drinking alcohol again in the future. And realistically, part of the reason for both of those is, they may not be the healthiest options for you. Soda definitely isn't. Alcohol is super expensive, especially for a lot of kids my age that go out and drink every single night of their life. It's got to be something that is insanely expensive. I don't really condone that sort of spending on anything, and least of all is going to be alcohol, something that doesn't help me work or be productive or make value for myself. So something that I don't spend money on at all. Another drink that I haven't talked about so far, but it's actually something that I also do not drink ever, is going to be coffee. I've never had coffee in my life, really. I've had a few sips here and there, but it's not something that I ever want or need. I basically have plenty of energy all the time. Ask anybody that knows me, they will agree. I have plenty of energy all the time. I definitely don't think that I need coffee in my life for that reason. Realistically, people drink coffee because it gives them energy, it lets them do more and more things throughout the day. I've never had that issue. I drink only water, solely water, just water. And I've never had an issue with anything. I've never been like really, really thirsty for some type of soda or sugary drink or anything. I just drink water, and it's never been an issue for me. I know that's probably something a lot of people couldn't fathom, but it's just easy. And again, water is pretty much free. And this also goes into something else that I don't buy, but kind of gets wrapped up in this category as well. Don't buy like bottled water if you can avoid it. Unless you literally have no source for water and need to buy bottled water, that's fine. But realistically, water is pretty much free all the time. And if you can get that for free, why would you ever spend money on it? So just try and get that free water, especially if you're trying to just save money in general. This is one way to do it. Surefire, only drink water. Saving money on all the other drinks that you could potentially buy is a pretty large expense. So getting rid of that is going to be massive if you can do it. And realistically, it's just not something that I've ever had an issue with. So I just stick to my free water, and I don't think I'll ever need anything more than that. The next item on this list is one that you probably didn't expect. It's going to be a little strange to hear at first, but it does make a little bit of sense, I hope at least. So this is what it is. It's going to be reusable bags, and these are kind of the nice grocery bags that people take to the grocery store time and time again and just reuse forever. And basically, I don't use these because a while ago I heard that it takes almost 1,000 times the resources to actually make one of these bags compared to a normal plastic bag. And I heard that and thought that's crazy. Basically, unless you're going to be using 1,000 plastic bags, it's not actually worth it to use one of these reusable bags. So what I did is this was a little over a year ago now, I basically just got like 5 nicer plastic bags, just normal plastic bags from wherever I was shopping those days, and I've kept them ever since and just reused the exact same plastic bags. And that sounds insane, but the other thing that I do is I basically just use like whatever I've got on me. Like I carry things, I put them in my backpack. I just don't use plastic bags anyways, but instead of using just a nice reusable bag that you have to spend a decent amount of money on, I just use plastic bags or my backpack or whatever I have on hand, and it saves a decent amount of money, and it also is, supposedly better for the environment because I'm just reusing the exact same plastic bags over and over and over again. All right, moving on to number 8, and if you didn't already think that I was an insane, crazy person, this one is going to put the nail in the coffin. I do not own a car, and I don't think I need one, and I don't think that I will ever want one in the near future. I've talked about this on a couple of videos before, and I've mentioned this same exact sentence, but I don't have a car and I don't think I ever want one. It's just so expensive to have them, and I've found multiple ways to get around needing a car in life. I find that it's valuable to spend more money on the location that you're living in. So, for me personally, I spend more money to live closer to work so that I can walk to and from where I work and therefore not need to buy a car at all. Realistically, there's so many things that go into a car. It really is expensive. So if you're looking at buying a car and it's something that you really, really want, actually look into how much it's going to cost. Not just the car itself, but everything else that goes into it, whether it's, again, maintenance or repairs, insurance, gas, all those other things. It really does add up and really make it super, super expensive, and it's something that I just don't see the value in. So yeah, I don't have a car, I don't really think that I'll ever need one, and I don't really want one. So we'll see in the future if that changes, but for now, it's absolutely something that I will not spend money on, and I don't see that changing for at least the short term. All right, number 9 is going to be something a little different. It's not just like a physical item that I don't spend money on, but this is something that I would advise for a lot of people. If you're trying to save money and be, a financial minimalist and just be really frugal when it comes to your spending, try to avoid sales. And yes, I know that sounds completely backwards. If you're trying to spend less money, shouldn't you, really focus on sales? I've actually found that it's the opposite. They're just a marketing tactic to get you to spend money that you weren't originally going to spend. A phrase that I keep in the back of my mind is this: 20% off is still 80% on. No matter how good of a deal it is or how much of a steal you think it is, you're still going to be spending money that you weren't planning on spending before. It's still going to cost you money in the long run. The only time that I think you should really actually use sales and take advantage of sales is when you know you're going to buy something. If you know that you need laundry detergent and you see that it's on sale, buy it on sale. Obviously that's better than spending the normal amount on it, but only on things that you know you're going to buy. Sales are just honestly a way for places, companies, businesses to force you to think that you need to buy something, when in reality, the cheapest way to do that is to not spend money at all. So really just try to avoid sales, especially if it's something that you think is so good that you can't pass up on it. Really think about it. Do you need to spend that money at all? And if the answer is no, don't spend that money. And the best way to do that is to kind of avoid sales. I try to do it as often as I possibly can so that I'm never tempted by the idea of a really good sale. Number 10 is going to be another tip type of thing. Don't spend money on things that are either in limited supply or that you feel pressured to buy due to time restraints. So basically, if there's ever something that you need to buy in the next 5 minutes or it's going to go away forever, and you're thinking to yourself, man, I need to buy this, I need to make a decision, you're just going to be stressing yourself out. And realistically, whenever people stress themselves out or only give them 5 minutes to make a decision, most people, most human beings in general, they tend to make bad decisions when they're stressed like that. Companies know this. That's why they do these types of things. That's why they say there's only one of these items left in stock. They want you to force yourself basically into buying it. They want you to sit there and think about how, if I don't buy this, there's not going to be any more ever. I need to buy this or I'm never going to get it. And then you basically buy it. And realistically, this is the same thing as a sale. The best way to save money is to not spend any money at all. And if you don't truly need that item, please do everything you can to avoid feeling pressured by time like that. Whenever you find yourself in a situation that you need to make a decision quickly in the next 5, 10, 30 minutes, whatever it is, just try to say, I'm not going to do it. Try to not buy that thing. So let that time frame go. And when it's over, think to yourself, am I okay? Did I really miss out on a really good deal? Am I going to regret making that decision? And if the answer is yes, then the next time that product comes up, just buy it. You know that you'll want it at that point, and it's not going to be something that you have to make a decision about. But at least in that moment, you didn't make a bad decision, because a lot of people might buy something, and if they had just waited and let it go, they would have realized they didn't really need it. So anytime that you put that unnecessary stress on yourself, you might end up making a bad decision. So just try to avoid that at all costs. Anytime that you find yourself in a predicament where you need to make a decision quickly, try to step away. Try to step away and give it a second thought. And if you still come to the agreement that you need it, then buy it. All right, there you go. That is my 10-point list of things that I just don't buy, things that I don't spend money on, things that I try to avoid at all costs as a minimalist. I know these aren't things that a lot of people can really do themselves. I understand that. This is a lifestyle that's pretty crazy, pretty individualized and personalized for myself. And I totally understand if you think you can't do a lot of these things and implement them in your life. But again, this is something that I mentioned right at the beginning of the video. I myself was very different than I am now, like even 2 years ago. You know, I've really enforced this into my life, turned this into a way of living, and I've changed the way that I spend money and view money in general. So if this is something that you want to do, if you want to look into ways to save more money in the long run and just not spend money, just try doing things that you think are a little bit crazy. And if they work out, they work out and they're saving you money. That's great. But I understand some of these things are just a little things that you can't change yourself, things that you can't, unfortunately, stop spending money on. And I totally get that. But I hope that you at least got some perspective into how I view value and how I view things that are necessary and things that aren't. And hopefully you can take that into my next videos and kind of understand my minimalist views a little bit better. But with that, one thing that doesn't cost you any money at all is actually going to be turning that like button blue. It really helps me out. It helps push this video to more and more people, and hopefully will help them live their lives a little bit better too. So do that if you can for me. Subscribe down below so you don't miss another upload, and then comment as well. Start a conversation with me if you'd like. I will talk about anything from this video, any one of these 10 points, something that you think I could add in a future video with a similar topic, anything like that, comment down below and I will absolutely respond. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will see you all next time.